Funding relationships can often feel a little transactional. A donor gives money, a grantee sends back a report. But what if that relationship could be a true partnership? Today, we're going to look at a tool that's designed to build that exact bridge, turning what can be difficult conversations into genuine, powerful collaboration.
And that's really the core challenge, isn't it? How do we get from just transactions to real trust? From simple reporting requirements to a place of shared respect? It sounds great in theory, but seriously, where do you even begin that conversation without it feeling awkward or maybe even a little confrontational?
Well, the answer might start with a framework. It's called the Donor-grantee ReACT, and it's a super practical tool designed to give some structure to the exact conversations that are often the hardest ones to have. So what is it exactly? Think of it like a structured conversation guide. It helps donors and their local partners, and that includes refugee-led organizations or RLOs, to honestly take a look at their relationship and pinpoint exactly where it can be stronger and way more equitable. Now, this tool has some real credibility because, it wasn't just designed in an office somewhere. It was actually co-developed with organizations out there doing the work. Its main goal is to directly address those tricky power dynamics, which is often the missing piece in other frameworks, like the wider Equitable Partnerships Accountability Toolkit, also known as EPAT. So how does it actually work in practice? The first thing to know is that this is not a test. It's not an audit. It's really just a facilitated 5-step conversation. So let's walk through those steps right now. Okay, it starts off super simple. You assign names, you read the definition so everyone's on the same page. Then comes the really crucial part. In step 3, both partners rate the relationship, but they do it independently. This is where the magic happens, because in step 4, you discuss the gaps between those ratings. And finally, step 5 turns that whole discussion into a share of action plan. So here's a perfect example of what that might look like. Let's say partner A feels that power dynamics are minimally acknowledged, but partner B thinks it's somewhat acknowledged. Now that gap isn't a problem. That gap is the starting point for the real conversation. See, the numbers themselves don't really matter. They're just a prompt for this question. The real work is in understanding why your partner sees things differently. What kind of assumptions and experiences led them to their rating? That's where the breakthrough really happens. A great conversation is fantastic, of course, but it's not enough on its own. The final phase of this tool is all about turning that reflection into real action, creating a plan that both partners own together. And this is what the output looks like. You don't leave the meeting with just some vague promises. No, you leave with a map. What's the specific action item? Who is responsible for it? And what's the deadline? This is exactly how good intentions become real accountability. And to make sure these actions actually stick, the tool uses the familiar SMART framework. So something like get better at discussing power becomes a real trackable action. Partner A will host a 2-hour training on power dynamics for both of our teams within the next 3 months. It's specific, measurable, and it's time-bound. This is how real change happens. It's not through some massive top-down mandate. It happens one structured, honest conversation at a time.